Hello everybody. Good morning. I hope everyone is having an absolutely beautiful Friday. Welcome and thank you for joining me. This is Fab Fridays with Heather. And so I'm just going to give it just a few minutes to see that everyone is joining us. Hi Shannon, hi Michelle. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. And let me see here. So I will just mention that I am having a little bit of connectivity issues with my Wi-Fi this morning. So we're doing this off of my just purely data. So I'm not able to pull up my laptop, so I'm going to be trying to follow along with the comments on the phone. So hopefully that will work out just fine. So in the event that I miss something, please forgive me. Just know that my technology is glitchy today. Awesome. Okay, so before we get into what we're going to be doing today, which is talking about our amazing Coastal Candy paint additive. Now, this stuff is so much fun. This can be used to fix damage, like as a filler. This can be used for raised stencils. You can do a faux rust technique. With this, you can actually make things look like chippy and corroded, like metal piers at the beach. Just so many cool things, just adding texture, dimension, character, and it's really, really fun. So I absolutely adore Coastal Candy, and I'm going to be doing, just kind of explaining to you guys how to use it today and all of that, which is great. But before I get into that, for those of you who joined me last week for our decoupage with Shabby Paints Vax demonstration, I just wanted to show you how the how this little toolbox turned out. So this has been distressed now after I let it cure, and so this has actually become a part of the piece, which is great. So this is smooth, this is beautiful. So this beautiful pattern has actually become a part of this piece, and it's very durable, it's waterproof, everything. So turned out so cute, and I'm so excited about that. Alrighty. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing. I appreciate the share. That's awesome. Hi, Mary. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Hello, hello. Yeah, so while I just wait for a couple of more people to pop on here. Oh, it looks like we got quite a few. Okay, hello, Luann. Welcome, thank you. Hi, Chantel. I'm sorry if I keep squinting at my phone. My Wi-Fi is down, so I'm not able to have my laptop up. So, okay, all right, good. So, thank you and good morning. So let's get into the Coastal Candy demonstration. So again, I just wanted to show you guys the finished product from last week, our little decoupaging project. And we're actually going to be using this cute little guy as our demonstration for today's Coastal Candy video as well. So this is our cute little test subject from last week and this week. So for just a second while I get everything mixed up, I'm just going to set that little guy off to the side. All right, so today is all about Coastal Candy. Coastal Candy is a beautiful, salt-free, chemical-free paint additive that allows you to get texture and dimension, raised stencils, really cool effects, faux rust, so many cool things. And you know what is really, really fun about this is that if you have a piece that is super cute, really good bones, but it's really damaged with like peeling veneer and just lots of issues that you're not really wanting to deal with, this is so awesome because this is a way to cover everything up in a way that looks really, really beautiful. So we're definitely going to be posting a bunch of Shabby Paints projects done with our Coastal Candy, and that's going to be awesome. So today, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour 8 ounces of Peppy Peacock into a little paper bowl. And I chose, so with this product, you know, hence the name Coastal Candy, it really looks so cute when using really beautiful, I mean, you can do faux rust, so you can use reds and browns and different things like that. But it just turns out so gorgeous using really pretty blues and coastal type colors. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And I have noticed on these videos that because of the lighting, sometimes when I'm using a lighter color, it can wash out a bit. So I'm using this really beautiful Peppy Peacock. This is not gonna wash out in the light. You guys are gonna be able to see what I'm doing, and it's gonna be awesome. Great, okay, so hello Angela, thank you for joining us. I don't know if I've seen you on here before. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but if you're new, welcome and thank you. And okay, so the pretty standard Coastal Candy ratio is 8 ounces of paint, which is our smallest cute little size, so that's kind of handy because you can just buy one of those and then you have a perfect measurement. Depending on what you're doing, you may need more. Hi Nancy, good morning, thank you. And then the ratio that is the best to use is a 1/2 cup per, if I can get the bag open, 1/2 cup per 8 ounces or so. So what I'm going to do so that I make sure I like my ratio, we're trying to get it about the thickness of frosting. Because we want to actually be able to create, we want it to be moldable. We want to be able to create effects with it. So I'm going to be using a 1/4 cup at a time to get to my 1/2 cup, just so I make sure that I like the consistency. So here's the first half. Okay. And you're just going ahead and you're mixing it into your paint. And yeah, so these bags are $24.99 and they last a really long time. You can do a lot of projects with this. So it's really great value and it's super fun. And like I said, the versatility is great. You can use it for so many fun things. And I'll definitely be demonstrating. So today I'm going to be demonstrating like a Coastal Candy kind of texture effect. And in the future we'll do some raised stencils, we'll do some faux rust, and we'll sort of expand on some of the fun things that you can do with Coastal Candy. Now as far as where to pick this up, this is a Shabby Paints product. And many of our stylists carry it. I don't know if they all do. Hi Donna, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I definitely am fully stocked for sure. So if you're not able to find a local stylist who has it, you can definitely reach out to me. It's on my website, theshabbyrelic.com. But definitely, check with your local stylist and see if they have it first, because you want to be supporting your local people, because that's just a good thing to be doing. And yes, definitely, for sure. Okay, all right, so I have mixed in the other 1/4 cup, and it turns into just this beautiful sort of frosting-like consistency, which is great. And I actually want mine to be a little bit thicker. I don't know if you're able to see, because I'm going to be doing like peaks and valleys and things like that with mine to get some really great texture today. So I want it to be able to hold its shape when I mold it, basically, or apply it. So I'm gonna add just a little tiny bit more. And I'm always talking about this, but painting is intuitive. you know, when people offer suggestions for whitewashing or for different techniques where they're giving you ratios, you know, don't just go off of what people are saying, go off of what you like and what feels good to you. I feel like the very best projects I've ever done were where I just literally experimented like crazy and I had fun doing my own thing. Okay, so let's see here. I'm just kind of moving it around to see if I like the consistency. Yes, and I feel like that's working pretty good. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get started applying our coats. I'm gonna set this off to the side, and then if I'm wanting it to be a little bit thicker, then I can just go ahead and add more after we get started, okay? And like all of our products, this is non-toxic, and sorry, just trying to check the comments since I don't have my access to my computer today. Great, okay, awesome. Well, I can't see, I can only see a few. Hi Sherry, thank you for joining us. I don't think I've seen you on here before. So if you're new, welcome and thanks so much for being on here today. We're talking about using our Coastal Candy paint additive, which is super fun for doing texture, rest, raised stencils, just cool patina, lots of cool things. So we're actually going to be doing this on the other side of this project that we were working on last week, because this is just a great little test subject. All right. So there's so many ways that this can be applied. Sherry, okay, this is your first time watching, good. So I'm starting to get to know you guys, so I'm super glad about that. Thank you so much. I always feel bad if I don't recognize the name and you've been on here before, so if I ever do that to you, I'm so sorry. I actually care about each and every one of you, and I'm always so excited to meet you and have you on here with me. Yes, okay. So today we're going to be doing kind of like a peak and valley technique because I really want this really interesting texture that it's going to give us. But before I do that, I'm also going to show you that it can also be applied with a brush stroke technique. So if you're wanting like cool lines, that type of a thing, you can actually do just your brush strokes. And then when you apply your top layer of paint and sand it back, you're going to get these really cool lines, which is going to be awesome. And if you're curious about the color that I'm using Peppy Peacock. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm going to get the paint onto the piece. And using this technique, so using Coastal Candy, unlike my other rants where I'm always talking about thin coats and building, with this, we're actually using a pretty thick layer because that's what's going to give us the texture and the interest. So I'm applying it pretty thick, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing kind of a stippling technique on here so that I get all of these peaks and valleys happening. And what this is going to do is, so the way that this works is this dries to a super hard, almost concrete-y type finish, if I were to give it a name. And so what happens is after this dries, you put a layer, or you can do multiple colors doing this. So you can have a 2-color technique, a 3-color technique, a 4-color technique, just depending on the effect that you're trying to get. And but for this demonstration, we're going to be using Peppy Peacock as the base, and then we're going to be using like, I think I'm going to do Beach House next week and show you after this dries and cures. Maybe a white or a Beach House color, I'm not sure quite yet. But what happens is after this is dried, we do a layer of paint without the product in it, and then we let that dry, and then we use a sander to reveal the technique, which is textures and colors and dimension, and it just looks so cool. And you guys, it is also a really wonderful way to hide things. You know what I'm saying? So if you have picked up a really cool piece somewhere that's just in terrible, terrible shape, this will cover up a multitude of sins, which is so beautiful. So if it's kind of beyond, you know, the scope of, you know, just tons of peeling veneer, lots of little issues and things that are a real pain, you definitely want to make sure there's no loose veneer. So if you were, you know, doing this over something that had peeling veneer, make sure you get all of the loose stuff off first, for sure, which is something I can demonstrate to you in another video, for sure. Okay, so now I'm not sure, can you guys see the dimension that this created? I think you can, yes. So all those little peaks and valleys are so neat, okay? All right, so this is going to be a 2-part video. So what we're going to be doing is next week, we are going to put the layer of paint on that does not contain the coastal candy, and then we're going to sand it back and we're going to look at that together, which is going to be so awesome. Also, so this is so fun. Shannon has done faux rest. She actually took those kind of, oh, I can't remember what exactly, they're like a paper letter, basically, and she, let's try to keep up with the comments. She took paper letters like that you can get at a craft store, and she made them look like rusted metal for signage, and they turned out really, really, really cool. So I'm very excited to show this to you because I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with it. I personally really, really like to make it kind of thick so that when it's sanded back, it has just a ton of cool interest. But yeah, so this is going to be great. So what's going to happen is I'm going to let this dry, and next week we are going to finish this together and do the big reveal, where you can see what happens when we paint the layer of a color without coastal candy on it, and then sand it back to see what we have. It's a paper mache letter is what Shannon is saying. Yeah, so that's super fun. I don't have any good examples laying around here. They're all things that I've sold long ago. But I've done a lot of really cool furniture pieces with coastal candy. I actually did a cool lamp with coastal candy that I got at a thrift store, which ended up looking really neat. So yeah, so it's really, really fun. Absolutely love it. One bag will last you forever, for absolute ever. And then, okay, so the Gilded Attic is adding how long to dry. Yeah, so I feel like it takes quite a while to dry. I usually leave it for a few hours. Shannon is saying that you can use like a hair dryer to speed it up, which is great. So yeah, so it's definitely a 2-step process because you'll want to wait for it to dry completely, because you won't want to be using the hand sander on it while it's soft or tacky or anything like that. You want it to really be cured up. So definitely, I would say a few hours to be fully dry and ready for the coat of paint that does not have the coastal candy in it. But yeah, so super duper fun, super excited for next week for the big reveal. So yeah. So again, I am Heather. This is Fab Fridays with Heather, and we were using coastal candy today. And I am very excited to see you next week when we do the second part to this coastal candy transformation. Okay, bye you guys. Thank you.